Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you. And I'm hoping actually very much to have a dialogue. And I want to first of all acknowledge and thank the organizers of this event, the moderators. This is probably the closest thing that we've had to sort of like a presidential debate format, where we've got journalists who are asking questions in the audience. My name is Merritt. I'm a candidate for City Council District 3. And the reason that I have chosen to run for office is several things. I've been a resident of District 3 now since the early 90s, a resident of Oakland since the early 80s. And in my opinion, Oakland is one of the most marvelous places in the country to live. I grew up in the South in Arkansas. I was educated in the Chicago area at Northwestern University. When I came here in the early 80s, I fell in love with Oakland. Oakland has wonderful people, some of the best weather in the country, culturally rich and vibrant community that gets really, we get negative marks for our image in a lot of places. I look around the country for work and other things. People often ask, well, why do you live in Oakland? Why don't you live in San Francisco? And I usually tell them, well, because one, when I moved here as a law student, it was more affordable, and because it has more of a family, and however you define family, it has a much more of an extended family feel to it. My qualifications, among my qualifications are the fact that I'm a parent of 4 children. I've raised 4 now young adults in this community. They're all artistically inclined, they're good students in school, and they're moving on in their lives with the help of an extended family. I'm an attorney. I practiced law here in civil litigation practice for a few years before beginning to do a lot of public policy work, mostly around kids issues. I served as a member of the Oakland School Board for 8 years during some of the most tumultuous times, very difficult budget challenges that you all know, a state takeover that we fought against. But in spite of that, have made some major improvements in some of the schools in West Oakland. KIPP Academy on Gold Campus came on my watch, and with my encouragement, with Dennis Chaconis, the former superintendent, it became immediately the best middle school in the city because the premise is that kids need to have a longer school day, and particularly kids who are behind, to catch up. Excel and Best High School on the Climbing Campus, we helped create, and this is where I partnered actually with Nancy Dale, the city council person, and the community to create a health center on that campus. I actually was part of Measure K when it first got on the ballot and helped run the Oakland Fund for Children and Youth, which set aside a portion of city dollars for youth development services. The big issues for me, and we'll talk about a lot of these tonight, and we've been on the campaign trail now for 5 weeks or so, and most of what we'll all talk about is public safety. We'll talk about development, and from my perspective, sustained and balanced development that looks at community benefit agreements and at the same time allow developers to do what they need to do to actually make a living at what they do. And thirdly, and this is maybe where I'm distinguished from the other folks in this race, is the notion of creating a partnership to create a strong system of schools in Oakland. We have public schools, charter schools, a lot of independent schools in our city, and yet our children still are not getting the education they need to be competitive and to make a contribution in the 21st century. And so much of what I think needs to happen has to do with our leadership style and abilities. Are we collaborative? Do we facilitate good conversation? Are we able to listen to what people have to say and then take the best of those ideas, lift them up, and then lead in a very courageous way? And so tonight, I hope to hear from you what the needs of the folks who live in this area of District 3. As you know, District 3 is made up of West Oakland, the downtown area, Jack London Square, Adams Point, and the perimeter of the lake. A very diverse district that has lots of different opportunities and assets, a diverse district that has a lot of challenges. We have some of the most wealthy people in the city in our district, as well as some of the folks who are living in the most distressed neighborhoods. And so for me, I hope that tonight, as we move forward, that the conversation will continue to be about what's good for the city of Oakland, what's good for District 3, and what distinguishes each of us in terms of our qualifications, our energy, and our capacity to move things forward. And the timekeeper is telling me time is up. Thank you.